email exchange. If I understood you correctly, you're saying there would be a distinction between an email between a minister acting as a minister and a journalist, and an MP and a journalist. So a critical distinction. And in the former case, it's OAA accessible, and in the latter case, not. So if that's the distinction, then the critical thing in the case of Mr. Dunn and Ms. Vance is what Mr. Dunn was when he was emailing Ms. Vance. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And what's your understanding of, in this particular circumstances, of the capacity of Mr. Dunn when he was engaging in those emails? As a minister or as an MP?
I don't know. I don't know what the content of the
Do you know that Ms. Vance knew at the time which capacity Mr. Dunn was acting in?
I haven't spoken to Andrew about the case and preparing for
Do you think that that point is relevant to establish?
whether or not
For the purposes of the committee's inquiry?
whether he was acting as an MP or a minister.
Correct.
Well, it is relevant. It's just I can't answer.
No, I
which one
understand
he
you
was
can't.
acting in.
Just interested in your thought on that. Okay.
Mr. Parker.
Yeah, two questions. The first is just to follow up on Mr. Browning's point. I don't want there to be any. I think Mr. Browning, and correct me if I've got this wrong, Jerry, but I think Mr. Browning was asking you whether you thought there was some duty of confidence that you received in respect of information because the person who provided you with the information might have had it improperly or a duty of confidence. And I don't think that's right. Your right and role as the fourth estate is to publish information of public interest that comes into your possession, irrespective of whether the person who gave it to you held it under a duty of confidence. Do you agree with that?
Yes, that was my answer.
Yeah.
The answer to Browning is asking questions to tease out some interesting propositions.
Okay, now the other question of mine is a separate one and refers to your statement verbally and in your written submission, which I think is right about the if information between a minister and paragraph 33.6,
Right.
if the information between a minister and a journalist is publicly ascertainable through the Official Information Act, well, the fact that it comes from a journalist or from a minister and is inconvenient to either the minister or the journalist is irrelevant.
That's right.
Then you said, I think, in what you said to us verbally, and that's eventually what happened in this case. My understanding is we still don't know whether any of those emails were disclosable under the Official Information Act. We heard from Mr. Henry, when you weren't here, that he didn't even check or seek the Official Information Act route to obtain access to those emails. Did I misunderstand your answer?
My answer referred to the fact that a lot of media organisations have OAA those emails.
But you haven't yet had an answer, have you?
No, yes, we have had an answer and we were told that it was within his capacity as a MP, not as a minister.
So you were told that, but how? I mean, that's very convenient, isn't it, for someone? For someone to say, oh look, I sent this from my ministerial email address, but I don't want to disclose it, therefore it was something that was sent in my personal capacity. How can that be right?
That's not true though.
Well,
we don't get into arguments. So
I'll ask the question. How do you think the authorities should? Would it be enough if an email was sent from or to a ministerial address? Would it be enough for someone to say, "Oh, you can't see that because although it came from my ministerial address or went to a ministerial address, I think it was private"? Do you think that's where it should end?
No, I think that the decision should be made on the content of the emails, not on the email address they were sent to. The replies we were given didn't say it was because it went to a parliament.gov.nz email address to the minister's.
But at the moment it's an assertion that it's private. A very convenient assertion if you leaked a document from a ministerial drive. And I haven't got proof that that's the case. But if that was the case, it would be very convenient for a minister to be able to just block it by saying, oh, that was private.
That's true.
So the way through that then is you would expect that, at least, and I'm not saying this, you would expect that in some situations, because of the self-interest in preserving you so from the consequences of your own inappropriate actions, you might just say, well, I don't want to, I'm going to claim it's private. What's the route through that?
Who's hearing, the minister or the?
The minister.
Yeah, you're asking a question about.
Well, actually, with respect, Mr. Chair, if you're going to take that point of order, I actually thought we were actually here.
Well, I'm not taking the point of order at all.
Well, then be quiet.
I'd like a question rather than an essay.
Well, no,
It wasn't.
Mr. Chairman, the gallery, I think, would be more expert in matters of using the Official Information Act than you or I, and I'm asking this witness in terms of, well, I was, if you would, Mr. Chairman, where the gallery receives an initial rebuff, which is a claim of privacy, where the gallery are suspicious of whether that is an appropriate refusal to provide information. Is your route then to appeal to the Ombudsman? Are you aware whether any appeal has been provided to the Ombudsman here?
I'm not sure, I don't know if any media outlets have known. That someone may have on that.
Because I'm struck with the...
Jane can answer, Jane.
I just know from our media organisation, we are either in the process or about to appeal to Ombudsman based on the rejection that we had. And that's our only form of...
Right, Judith Collins.
Well, no, just let me finish. Well, it might not be convenient to you.
No, I just love succinct questions to the point.
Well, I
You can continue after 9 o'clock by leave if the committee wants it, but it's 10 to now.
I'm struck with the fact that this inquiry got information that it shouldn't have had access to, and yet didn't even follow to the end of the Official Information Act process whether it could have had access to information under the Official Information Act. Do you, in your capacity, have any opinion on that?
Whether the Henry inquiry should have, if it couldn't get consent, tried to get it under the Official Information Act, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's up to the Henry inquiry, but we do believe the Official Information Act was the criteria that should have applied to those emails in the absence of consent or any other form of ability to compel it.
Right.
Thank you.
Judith.
I just wanted to